keep trying to look for respect from other people, but don't have the respect for their own selves. This is a clown world. I call these people goofy gooners. You're a goofy gooner if you don't even develop the self-respect. You need respect for other people to make yourself feel good. So this is why I talk about the internal making the external world reflect. It's all a reflection. So if you don't have this self-respect, you definitely don't have respect of other people. Because be as a king and you are treated like one. I'm so fantastic. I walk around. I'm king, king of earth, J Preme, king of earth, lord of earth, all of the fish and sea I have dominion over. So when I'm walking through earth and I'm telling myself this, the earth and everything around me has to reflect. This is why everywhere I go, people Preme, they're happy to see me. That's why everywhere I go, I'm respected. It's the belief that drives it. But most of you don't even have the self-belief or self-respect. You are a goofy gooner. So the thing you need to do first is to develop a mind of faith. Develop a mind of self-belief. I truly believe belief and faith go hand in hand. So that's the first thing you should try and develop. Try and develop your mind to the point where you'll start to sit and say, you know what? I respect myself. And my sheer amounts of self-respect enables me to move to the earth and receive respect from other people. People respond to how you respond to yourself. If you think highly of yourself, guess what? You get higher level results because you start to do the necessary actions, which then prove your competence. Even your brain starts to search out different things that has happened that then furthers your belief, which further confirms it. It's called cognitive bias. You start to be biased towards this exemplary respect. So when you walk around, you start to see, you start to point out, okay, now I'm receiving the respect that I want, the respect that I want. Now I'm receiving the respect that I want because I'm receiving self-respect first. So you need to give it to yourself first before you can receive it. So I say, to he that has much more will be given. To he that has not even what he has shall be taken away. So most people don't have to begin with. You need to have a certain level of self-respect, a certain level of preme, of pizzazz, of walking through the earth with sheer self-respect and pizzazz. And it forces the earth to obey and conform. And unless you can adopt this, well, you're just going to stay a peasant. Because people who don't self-respect themselves, who don't have the level of self-respect, who never reached this echelon, which I'm trying to bring you up to, they never achieve the levels of self-respect because their mind is not in their control. So when I talk about mind control, I want you to understand that mind control is very, very important. And in fact, if you have mind control, you can have everything you desire in life because everything stems from the mind. The movie The Matrix explained it best. If you figure out the thing that you want and you believe it first, you can achieve it. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, you can achieve. So the first thing to getting respect from other people is first to get self-respect for yourself. As you start to get self-respect for yourself, that's the internal game. The physical game, you need to do the necessary reps. So you need to identify first, where are you trying to receive respect at? Okay, let's say in a certain area, when you're having conversations, you want respect in conversations. Okay, well, you start to develop in that area. You start to develop socially. You start to put in your reps. You start to say, hey, I don't like the way that you said that. You start to call out disrespect. You start to stand on your morals and principles and never allow yourself to be disrespected. This is how it all first starts, but it first starts in the mind. That's why I'm so big on the mind. And that's why I teach about the mind, because mind control is the last missing piece that most of you are missing. Most of you have enough money. Most of you are not homeless living on the street. Most of you have money to wake up and eat and go to the gym and scroll your phone. You have enough money to be able to watch this video. So here's what I'm telling you. You're missing the last missing piece, which is absolute mind control. That's the last missing piece. And once you get mind control, which is what I teach inside of my free school, t.me/prime operations, you can go get that. It's free Telegram. And also in my program, I teach this exact system in there that tells you everything about the mind, because the mind is the most important thing. And you need to develop a certain amount of respect inside of your mind, which radiate outwards. Most people don't understand the internal world. How can you want something externally without getting internally first? You need to have the belief first. So you need to first have the belief that you can even get respect from other people. Secondly, you need to have the belief that you are worthy of self-respect, worthy of the respect of others. Thirdly, you need the physical counterpart of the self-respect that you enabled inside of your mind. And that is how it comes about. And that is how you receive the respect that you want. And when I walk around, this is true, and I guarantee you, if you listen to what I'm telling you, it will happen to you. When I walk around in these social situations, I had a lady come up to me and say, "There's just something about you. There's just something about you, your presence. It's like you have a pull, you have a gravitational pull where everybody's just drawn to you." And I was just sitting and listening. And it's funny because I thought this about myself first. I will sit there for hours and meditate and tell myself that I had a magnetic presence and that everybody was drawn to me and everybody loved me. And it confirmed itself in my reality every single time. This is why I say the mental world is more real than the physical world. When I talked about how to pimp the universe and make it your bitch, you need to go back and watch that one, because that is where I explain that everything intangible inside of your mind is more real than the physical. Because let's say, for example, this fantastic coat that I have on, which you can't find, these glasses and these chains and everything, it all starts as a thought in someone's mind. That thought is what made it real. So the thought that made it real was much more concrete, much more real than the physical counterpart. Because without the intangible, without the mind, without the idea to create this chains and stuff, well, it would never came about. So therefore, the thought made it more real than the actual physical concrete form. Why am I saying this? The thought about your self-belief and your self-respect and the respect that you want to receive from others, well, you first need to have the belief and the thought that you have that in the first place. The reason why you haven't yet had the self-respect is because you haven't yet adopted that state of consciousness. This is not just jargon, spiritual jargon. When I talk about adopting a state of consciousness, I mean having it before you have it. Do you have the belief that people respect you before they respect you? Can you have the belief? Every champion has done this. Every champion in the world believed they were champions way before they seen the results of them being champion. You need to use that principle. Can you have the self-respect? Can you have the necessary respect? And can you believe that you have respect from other people before you have to see it in reality? And that is the way that you achieve that level of respect. And until you can do that, well, stay a peasant, stay a goofy gooner if you can't adopt that level of mind control. That level of mind control is at the highest echelons of man, which I've achieved. Mind control makes you a 0.1% of man, which most people cannot get to. Because there's a lot of people out here with money. Oh, we talk about the 1%. Oh, yeah, but these people are fat and they're rich. I wouldn't even want to live that existence. Then you have the other spectrum. They're skinny and they're dorks. Then you have the other spectrum. It's just a bunch of different spectrums of the top 1% men who still lack in other areas. The 0.1%, I called this elite status men at first, but I'm changing it. I think I'm changing the name. And the name is those of Preme. Because it's different many aspects of Preme, and the 0.1% of population of Preme. You need to understand the Preme is not just for me, it's something you embody. I'm top P. This is something you can become, but you need to get there. The 0.1% of men who absolutely have mind control, who have a strong physical body, who also has money, who also is good with women, who's also intelligent, who also can speak, who's also sexy and charismatic like me, who can do anything he put his mind to. There's not too many men on the face of the planet who can do the things that I do, have the things that I have. So that's why I call it the 0.1%. And I lived a very unique existence, which shaped my self-respect, And I genuinely believe if you go through a process of doing things which makes you want to respect yourself, go out and do hard things. Go out to the fighting gym, learn how to fight and get punched down and get beat up. Go out to the wilderness and fast with no phone and come alive out from the wilderness with bear animals like me. Do these things, do things which are worthy of respect, and that is how you receive respect. So after you develop the mental belief that you can receive respect from other people and you have self-respect, then comes the third step. The third step is what? To go out and do things which are worthy of respect. When I went out to the wilderness and I came back, everybody was appalled and amazed. They were appalled at the fact that I did something that they wouldn't do. I went out and did something that people wouldn't normally do. And in fact, I had a conversation with a girl on the phone. I was telling her about my wilderness experience. I went out there and I fasted. She was like, "That's so manly. That's so manly. Men are not doing that anymore." And which is true. You need to do things which are hard, do things which are worthy of respect. That's why when you see men with a strong body, they are respected. You can look at a man with a strong body and say, well, you know, he had the discipline to get that body at one point. Well, that's worthy of respect. So you need to do things which are hard, which people are not doing or people are afraid to do. And you need to give the lessons about it, and you need to say, I did X, Y, and Z. And when they start to see that you did X, Y, and Z, they start to question and say, well, perhaps I don't want to do it. That's why people learn from me, from my wilderness experience. They love the stories which I give about my wilderness experience because it's something they're not going to do. So people want to hear from you and your lessons when you do interesting things or you do things which are worthy of respect. They want to listen to it. For example, even me reading the whole New Testament in one city, they want to hear the lessons of the New Testament without them reading the whole New Testament. This is just how reality works. When you do hard things, when you do things that are worthy of respect, when you do things which people don't want to do or afraid to do, you now become respected because they say, man, he did something that I wouldn't do or I can't do. And that is what makes you get to a certain level of receiving respect. And that, my fellow, is how you do it. Everybody who understands the principles of this is inside the free telegram, t.me/Preme operations. There's something very, very big that I'm going to do in the future inside of Preme operations. Now, if you want to be a part of that and win as well and receive the fruits of this powerful movement and this thing that I'm doing and preparing, it's a build up. If you want to be a part to see, if you just trust me and you join, I guarantee you, you will receive the fruit of what I'm about to do. But you need to be inside of free Telegram first. You need to be inside of there. And that's where we're all gathering. And I will see each and every one of you by name in there. I can see your name when you join. I will remember all names which are inside of there. So thank you for watching to the end if you watched to the end. And these are the principles of how you receive the respect that you want. This is how.